posting record revenue for their Q1 2023-24. Very pleased to be joined by the CEO, Alan Williamson. Alan, good morning.
Good morning, Brandy. Pleasure to be on the show again.
Right, let's look at the numbers. Record revenue up 11.5%. Your net profit up more than 60%. What's behind the numbers?
Enrolment, fantastic enrolment, the growth of our portfolio. We're very proud to help the government with the national agenda. We've added 6, actually. We published 5 today. Since then, 6 new public-private partnership schools. But most excitingly, our private school enrolment is up by 11%. So fantastic revenue growth on the back of that enrolment. And we've also made some smart investments, so you'll see a rise in our net profit.
Right, okay, that's what I wanted to ask you. When we've got net profit up more than 60% and revenue up by 11%, what's the difference? Where are you either saving or making money?
Yeah, remember we're sitting on IPO funding, and we will deploy that over the course of the next 2 years. We're really excited to be building 4 new schools, delivering 8,000 new seats into Dubai and Abu Dhabi. But in the interim, we're benefiting from interest rates and also incredibly good investment from our CFO. So, look, we're doing really well. I'd like to focus on the revenue growth, on the enrolment growth, because really that's the long term for Taaleem.
And I absolutely want to talk about enrolment growth. You know we enjoy talking to you for the proxy data game. Just to pick up on one thing you've said there, just because I don't think we've heard another business say it yet. You're sitting on that cash, obviously, the undeployed funds from your IPO, saying that you're benefiting from the higher interest rates on that.
Yeah, I suppose it swings both ways, doesn't it? And we're very conscious that we have that money. We have a clear strategy outlined. The 4 schools will be 4 times, 180 to 200 million dirham investments into Dubai, into Abu Dhabi. But in the interim, we need to be investing that. Our shareholders will expect us to act wisely in relation to that. Okay,
so let's play the proxy data game. Let's look at your enrolment figures, up nearly 27%. But as you say, you have acquired students and you have acquired those schools. If we take the government schools out, what have you seen in your own expansion, your previous expansion, and where's it come from?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before. One of the things really we need to celebrate is closing the capacity utilisation in our existing portfolio. People are deciding to stay in schools and stay in Taaleem. So, and stay in Dubai and stay in Abu Dhabi. And I think that's crucial to the larger economic outlook. People are not going back to, their homes. Expats I'm talking about. Emiratis are choosing in some respect, private education as well. But in terms of percentages, we've talked about this before. We are seeing about 25% of that new enrolment coming in to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, new expat. About 35% of that is just new students coming in. And I think that's a really interesting statistic because that's coming from a nursery or a KG and coming into school. So, that's young children coming into the system. And if they stay with you for 12 years, that's extremely profitable for a schools group. And Taaleem are very proud that 40% of other children are choosing to leave their present school and to come into Taaleem's values-based and values-driven education.
And what's the percentage that you're up without those government schools? So
11% rise in premium education, which is phenomenal. It's actually above the market. It's above what KHDA have published.
So let's talk about your own expansion, those 4 schools that you are building at the moment. 2 lines that I've pulled out of your earnings here. One says Taaleem's focus remains on targeted M&A activities. What are you looking for?
Well, let's touch on the 4 greenfields first, because if you drive over the Sheikh Zayed Road, you'll see a state-of-the-art building on the water canal. That's DBS Jumeirah. Out beyond the 311, we are building DBS Mira. And actually, you've been talking a lot about roads. I'm staring at Richard's screen here, seeing the red get deeper around the schools. One of the things that we're really focusing on is building in communities. The population of Mira will no longer have to get out onto the roads and drive to school. In terms of M&A, it's an exciting year ahead. I can't speak about it just now, but we are, Taaleem are thinking beyond our present horizons. We may be over the next year or two announcing a slight diversification of our portfolio.
Away from education?
Not away from education, absolutely not. Taaleem were founded for all the right reasons 20 years ago, and we will always focus on, in the words of Tony Blair, education, education, education. It'll be K-12, although the early years is looking really, really interesting in terms of an economic growth. But we're looking at a variety of opportunities that are really, really exciting.
What can you do in the education space that you're not doing already?
Curriculum. That's one thing. Price point would be another thing. Price point. We operate in a really interesting part of the market. Affordable premium education. You send your children to Dubai British School and you'll go to a Russell Group or Ivy League university. But there are schools that operate below that price point. There are schools that operate above that price point. And Taaleem are looking at all opportunities available to us.
We've had a number of messages from the residents of Mira actually wanting to know exactly when that school is going to be open.
September 2025. We're really excited. It's on track and it will be a beautiful school, building on the reputation of Dubai British School Emirates Hills and Dubai British School Jumeirah Park.
You've also mentioned another line in your earnings here about your greenfield strategy. Will there be more new builds?
Well, actually, already we are enhancing the capacity of Greenfield International School. It's an IB school out in DIP. It was International IB School of the Year, and we're putting another 500 seats into that. And of course, Brandy, this is our 24-25 strategy. In 26 and 27, we'll be announcing further growth. And that's why some of the major international investors in the world are investing in Taaleem's story. People love our story, not just because of the profitability and the returns on our story. I think people love the idea of investing into education.
Unfortunately, we do have to leave it there this morning. Alan Williamson is the CEO of Taaleem, the schools operator, talking to us about their numbers for Q1 2023-2024. 60%, just over, uplift in profits, and 11.5% rise in revenue. Thank you for your time.
Always,